Merry Christmas, everybody. It's Joe Chaffee. I'm just going to take you through now. First, we're going to do the long range because there's no doubt that the pattern change process that we have been illustrating and going through is completing itself over the next week to 10 days. And it is pretty much done with what we had with the extremes of December. Now, here's our storm system for Monday into Tuesday. And you can see it wrapped up here near Memphis on Monday afternoon, and as it lifts up to the northeast, it weakens a little bit. But you actually, if you're looking for snow, you want it to weaken, because if you have too deep a system here, it just floods the east with warmer air. So instead, you have cold air that's going to be wedged into New England, and we cover that on a short range post, which you can link to. In the meantime, that goes out, and you can see the big changes that are going on up in Canada. Follow this along in the upper flow, and I want to show you here. There's a vortex that forms and starts to push southward. You have a ridge now in the western states and not in the eastern states. This is for the weekend that follows New Year's. And I want to point out, and I mentioned this yesterday, to me this is an interesting and potentially dangerous pattern in the longer term, because you do have this strengthening flow from the northwest with embedded weather systems along it. And as each one comes down, it could cause something to develop. It's nothing that we can pick out in the long range. It's always going to be something that you'll start to see in the shorter range, but definitely a colder look. You can see the warming that goes on all across Greenland and points westward toward Alaska. The entire profile of the Arctic is changing, and you have a vortex that forms in Hudson's Bay as we head through the first week of January. And in fact, there's actually a little bit of there's blocking that develops across the poles. This is a very cold, very wintry look here for the northeast. Ridge still remains in place in the west. Split flow with weather systems coming in off the Pacific. So it really looks like, as we head into the first 10 days or so of January, that we are going to be going into a much busier and a winter look here. So the look of December is done. Now let's just switch off now. I'm going to go to the short term, and we'll take a look at this weather system for early next week. And let's get you a close-up view of all of this. And all right, so now we're going to go back to the beginning. There we go. All right, so here's what happens. We have the front for Saturday that builds on in and cools things down somewhat. Of course, today is going to be another relatively warm day, maybe not to the extreme of what we saw yesterday. And then this next little weather system, got a wave that goes by up to our west, and that's going to push the major cold front through here Sunday evening. So Sunday's going to be another warm day. Then this front moves on through, and here comes the cold high that builds up across the Great Lakes. At the same time, here's that weather system that moves out of the southwest. Now, you start to see, this is by Monday night, we have ice that is shown through parts of southwest New Jersey, much of the southern half of Pennsylvania, and then it moves in during the night across New York City, northern New Jersey, northern Pennsylvania, and northeastward into southeastern New York. This high is not running out right away, so that's going to pitch down cold air east of the Appalachians. So we're going to have some cold air to deal with, at least for a while. Now, eventually, the high does move into Maine. How much of this cold air gets wedged in is going to determine what we wind up with. By Tuesday morning, it has rain for Long Island into northeast New Jersey, and you can see ice and snow just inland, and of course it's all snow as you move up through upstate New York and New England. And then the low, the primary low, weakens, redevelops off the Delaware coast, weak system that moves out to the northeast. So basically what we have is a major storm that's going to be in a weakening phase. As it moves northeastward, it's going to fall apart to the west and redevelop to our southeast and stay relatively weak. You don't, if you want a winter storm here, you don't want too much development, because that'll just sweep up warmer air. So this is probably the most ideal scenario you could get for winter weather, given the circumstances. And it does bode well for at least interior New England and upstate New York, so the ski resorts can finally break their drought. And then out it goes, and We have a little bit of milder air for the middle part of next week before we start the cool down in the longer term. Another wave comes up for New Year's Day that's just offshore. We may have some borderline cold air with that, so we're going to watch this system as it evolves over the next couple of days. So enjoy your Christmas day. Merry Christmas. I'll be on Verizon Fios tonight beginning at 5 o'clock. I will also be on at Pix 11 on Sunday beginning at 5 o'clock. So you can keep in touch not only here on the website at meteorologistjoechaffee.com, but you can also catch me on the tube. So enjoy your day. Merry Christmas, and be safe as we go into the rest of this long holiday weekend.